Welcome to Tales from the Switch Vault, where I, jimjimjim, look back at some of the weird and wonderful games from the Nintendo Switch. This week I time it right in Bug Fables, the Everlasting Sapling. Originally released on PC in November 2019 before coming to Nintendo Switch and consoles in May 2020. Created by the independent studio Moonsprout Games and published by Dangan Entertainment, it is an RPG that's heavily inspired by the early Paper Mario series. Following the tale of 3 bugs, the player must explore Bulgaria and complete challenges via its turn-based combat system. At the time of release there were no Paper Mario games on Switch, with Bug Fables nicely filling this niche. The player controls the 2D paper party of 3 in a 3D world, having been tasked to find the Everlasting Sapling from the Queen. Combining platforming, turn-based combat and exploration, the player has to traverse Bulgaria, a kingdom that's in the back garden of a house. Controlling V, Kabu and Leaf, a team thrown together that must use their unique abilities to solve puzzles and get through the land. Bumping into enemies will throw the team into a turn-based combat that forms the spine of the game. Get the jump on an enemy and you go first. Stunning them prior grants you a bonus attack. Basic attacks are time-based with a unique mechanic for each character. Special attacks can do greater damage or additional effects, but cost teamwork points. On the tactical front, you can use turn relay to bring in a better team member, or use strategies to spy on, skip turn or even flee. You do a lot of the normal attacks and they are easy to learn and master. They're integral to making it through a dungeon and saving your teamwork points for major battles. With this being an RPG, you level up your team and you can learn new moves which keeps things interesting. You also select a team upgrade, either health, team points or medal points. The latter really opens up playstyles with the badges. For example, there's health boost, sleep resistance, but it's the later game badges that allow you to go all in. A lot of the badges are there for the whole team, but a bunch can be put onto a particular team member which can massively boost its power. It's an absolute must to be able to attach as many badges as you can. It really helps you beat the harder challenges later on. Each character comes with an overworld move. V can throw her boomerang to stun enemies, but also hit switches. Kabu can flip enemies with his horn and slice through grass, and Leaf can freeze enemies as well as water blocks for platforming. They all learn more abilities as you get through the game, which I won't spoil here, but they really help you in reaching inaccessible areas. Solving relatively simple puzzles as you go through a dungeon nicely mixes up the gameplay with the combat. Exploration is often rewarded with items that can heal you or replenish your TP, or more excitingly, new badges. It's a fun game to play. Visually the game looks great. I'm a big fan of the overall bug aesthetic. In particular, the 2D insect models are very well designed, with great differentiation within same species characters, all very much anthropomorphized, standing bipedally upright, giving them real character. The cartoon art style works really well within this. The thick black lines around every item and character really make it all stand out. The world, however, is built in 3D, but it actually works very well with the 2D insect designs. The designers have done well in creating interesting enough environments. The whole game is grounded, no fantastical environment with it being based in a garden. So you go underground in muddy caves and explore between the vast leaves of grass. You're not going to get blown away by any vistas, but it all ties back into the theming really well. The UI is clean, in particular it's really clear and easy to understand the attack combinations. Also, I really like the text font, bubblegum sounds, that is used throughout. The music comes from Tristan Ulrich, a French musician, composer and teacher. Bug Fables was his first video game soundtrack, having released some earlier music singles. After reaching out to Ulrich to work on the game, they gave him demo versions to play and get a feel for it. He's actually included in the game itself as the music playing grasshopper Tristan found in the underground tavern. And what music it is, so catchy, quite chirpy and really happy music. The main theme embodies this, but even more so is Fight, the combat tune. They could have easily gone with a much darker tone, but it's all very light and enthusiastic. Yeah, let's go for it! The in-game sounds are good too. Tristan actually did the boomerang sound, but when you have the satisfying slice from Kabu or the crashing of the ice, I think the most apt is the screeching as she flies and struggles to carry Kabu. It's really piercing. This game is a lot of fun, and that comes down to just how snappy it is. Starting out, it gets you right into things, keeping the story and tutorials to a minimum. It gives you the whole party within 30 minutes, which is amazing, meaning you can nail down the core mechanics quickly. It's pretty frictionless for a game to start out with. From here you explore and follow the quests set to you by the residents of Bulgaria. These range from fetching items, combat challenges, and even providing emotional support. The writing is so strong in this game, it really endears the characters to the player. Seeing them grow and become better over the course of the game is a particular highlight. For those that have not played this game, it looks like a complete rip-off of the Paper Mario series. In fact, it was just deeply inspired by the first 2 games. Even the working title was called Paper Bugs. At the time of release on Switch, we didn't have any Paper Mario games and didn't see Origami King until July 2020, Paper Mario until December 2021, and finally A Thousand Year Door much later in May 2024. I'd argue these gaps should be filled by indies. It's hard making games, they take a long time, and so I understand that companies only make so many. For instance, as of early 2025, there's still not been a Star Fox game on Switch outside of the NSO. Games like Bug Fables fill this gap, and it's incredibly difficult to even get close to being as good as the original. Bug Fables certainly does that. Coming to all platforms also allows the excellent formula to be seen by far more players. The three-party team in my view just about helps differentiate it enough, with tactical planning really coming to the fore here, especially with some enemies resisting certain team members. Knocking flying ones out of the air is very important, so it often depends on who you lead. Kabu can't do very much here and must be at the back, though he's very strong with ground enemies. Overall, I found the combat mechanics a little more forgiving than the Paper Mario games, with button input response time a bit longer, which I really appreciated. Coming in around at 25 hours long, there is plenty of additional quests and mini-games in the Terma Arcade and items to acquire to add plenty of further depth for completionists. Though not a huge amount changes, replaying the game is still fun given a sufficient gap. The hard mode badge gives the game a decent edge and actually allows for a much quicker leveling up if you're good enough. Moonsprout Games is a Panama-based indie team made up of Panamanian Jose Fernando Gracia and Brazilian Marcio Clayton Jr. Having met on a Pokemon Nuzlocke forum, they collaborated on several projects including a comic that would form the basis of Chapter 1 of Bug Fables. They settled on making an RPG game that would eventually be inspired by the Paper Mario series as it was fun, simple and attractive. During development, they managed to get the game crowdfunded on Indiegogo to the tune of almost $25,000 alongside launching a demo. After this, Japanese indie publisher Dangan Entertainment aided the port to consoles and Japanese translation and marketing. Though nothing has been confirmed yet, the team's last update talked about making a brand new game before coming back to make Bug Fables 2. With an excellent 85 on Metacritic, Bug Fables was widely reviewed well, depicting a labour of love for the genre. Selling over 160,000 copies on Steam alone, it was a fantastic success story for the indie duo, with Ganao stating they probably won't need to do crowdfunding in the future. Personally, I had never played any Paper Mario prior to this, and only picked it up as part of a Game Club selection. Having now played a bunch, the common threads of both series are abundant. It's interesting that part of the developers' reasoning for the gameplay was newer Paper Mario games that strayed too far from the original combat formula. I totally agree with this, and it's a great game for RPG novices and veterans alike. There's a lot of combat in this game, and I never really got tired of it. However, there are some wrinkles in this game. The platforming can be a little annoying at times, the fixed camera angle making it trickier than you would like. Some of the quest directions can be a little vague, prompting you to look at a guide. For the most part, this is just a very solid game. Shout out to the developers for putting themselves as NPCs in the game. Overall, this game perfectly sits alongside the Switch's Paper Mario games, and I really hope more indie teams take on lesser seen Nintendo staples for themselves. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe for more weekly Nintendo Switch video game essays, and comment below on which bug you'd like to be. Okay, time to get back and finish those bounties.